Alright, here we are for some Pauper action. We've won the die roll. We would like to play first. We shall not mulligan. We have a 1-2-3 curve with lots of card advantage and a finisher in corrupt, which is very slow and not good in all matchups. We're only playing two of them in the main deck. Actually, only playing two of them, period, but it's okay. I don't mind having that in my hand. Why can I not adjust the size of this? Okay. Our opponent is playing Tron and has natural. Wow, he just has Tron. Okay, it's not. It's not bad. It's certainly not bad. We're gonna take Ponder. I like our Tron matchup simply because we have more removal spells than they have threats in their deck, and although they have Muldrifter, which is huge value, they have four Muldrifters. We have 9 cards that get us a 2-for-1. So in the longer game, we can grind out Muldrifter, even if we have to spend removal spells on it. Also, being on the play, I think, gives us an even bigger advantage. Tron can't really play draw that much as we can. We can develop a draw where we just beat down. That is a perfectly legitimate. Like, they go slow, we go fast, and that's a legitimate route to victory. Now, given his hand, I don't think that's going to be the case this game because he has natural Tron and can just play whatever he wants starting now, which I would guess is going to be Muldrifter. Yeah. So that's certainly good. It's not bad at all. That's kind of what you dream up when you play Tron, right? It's just draw all Tron. Why even have Expedition Map if you're just going to be drawing Tron every game? Yeah, so now we know his hand is a Haunted Fengraf. And yeah, I guess that's really all we know at this point. But he probably has things. He probably has things. I'm gonna start off with an attack. He snap blocks. I'm fine with that. I actually like that. I'm gonna go for the. Oh man, look who drew value all day. Go for the duress here. So now he's on Graph, Crusher, Oracle, Drifter. We whiff with the duress. I don't know if we can beat this draw. He's got a lot of value, and we don't really have that much value this game. We need to start drawing removal post haste. Because he can just slam Crusher here with impunity. He might was we got Shimmering Grotto instead of another. Oh, I guess yeah, that makes perfect sense because he doesn't have a colored source of any color. Wow. Unexpected. Unexpected to go for Seagate Oracle rather than just putting Crusher in play. Now, he could very reasonably expect us to have removal spells because we certainly have quite a few of them. So from his perspective, play Crusher, get it killed, doesn't look that good. So maybe that's why he chose not to do it. We're going to develop our board here with Rats into Witches. We got Full House. Rats full of witches. And pass the turn back. It's possible that we get to the point where our corrupt is going to be large enough to kill a Crusher. We're obviously not there yet, but we're also not horribly far away. We get to cycle Barrenmore and have a draw on Rager. So we could certainly get there, and that's always great. You don't get to see that very much, but if you can do that, it certainly feels good. Chromatic Star, sure. or Chromatic Sphere rather. So he still hasn't played Crusher, so I'm feeling pretty safe here. Doesn't want to risk an attack. Reasonable. Conservative, but reasonable. We're going to play Rager here. And Grey Merchant is an excellent draw. It's going to buy us a lot of time. I don't know why I'm doing all this pre-combat, but I think like our line of play is pretty much locked up. Like if we'd drawn something off Ranger, we would want to play it. But now the cycling should have saved that for later. But our line is obvious. We attack. He blocks or doesn't block. Like it depends. But none of his blocks are particularly spectacular for him. Block with Muldrifter is fine. The only way that really could have gone poorly is if he has Undying Evil in hand, sack Star for black to play Undying Evil, and we're just like a million miles behind. But that's kind of an outside line, yeah. That would be a very peculiar card for Tron to have. Yep, he's going to gain a lot of life off this. Fangor Marauder is very good. It's certainly one of the reasons to play. Like if you're going to be on Tron, I think you want to play the eggs version just to get Fangor Marauder. Because like I still have to answer this Fangor Marauder. 5/5 is just too big for me to deal with. Trading off creatures and such. So I need a removal spell for this. But he's going to gain, you know, umpteen life off this in the process, which puts him out of Grey Merchant range. So it's certainly good in this matchup. Now what have we got? I think Chittering Rats into Witches is probably the line here, with no attack, obviously. Chittering Rats pretty good. I think Chittering Rats is equal to Muldrifter in sweetness. Obviously this is hard to cast, but the double black helps with Grey Merchant, so in this deck we like it. Daddy likey. And now we're getting to the point that like some combination of arrows plus witches can actually interact with his board. You know, like we can just shoot down Muldrifters, shoot down C8 Oracles, which is certainly good. Ugh. Ugh. Why? Every Muldrifter ever. Yeah. Over a long game, we can grind out Muldrifter just because we have more value in our deck than they have Muldrifters. But if they have 2 or 3 Muldrifters in a row, before we get to the stage where we've played 3 Chittering Rats, played 3 Phyrexian Ragers, we can't really get there. Flame Slash is good. Flame Slash is certainly good. We can still run the Mondo block. He has no colored mana left. Yeah, he plays Crusher now. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think that's got to be it. We need 2 removal spells, and we will not be able to corrupt his Crusher this game. We just didn't draw the lands for that. So we trade our board for his Fangor Marauder, which is really bad. Opponent's at 30 and has Crusher in play. We have to top deck a removal spell immediately, and it can't be Spinning Darkness. It can't be Guess Verdict. It must be our... No, that's not it. It just had to be our Victim of Night. That said, post sideboard, our matchup gets a lot better. Like this version, this deck he's playing has a lot of stuff running around, so Guess Verdict probably not that good. But we do have the full 4 victims to take out the Crushers. And it doesn't look like he is playing counter spells. Yeah, this looks like a pretty normal Tron deck. So, the eggs version doesn't really have counter spells. Second 2 permanents. Yeah. Now that he's got Crusher attacking, Corrupt is just a pipe dream. Never gonna happen. 3, 4, yeah. Take the beatings. I really like Haunted Fingraph. This card is just such a house. Like, which one of these cards is not good to return? The Game Ender Threat? The draw 2 cards? Stall the ground, draw 1 card? Seems good. Seems good. And the Tron, you're playing a big mana deck, you need your lands, but sooner or later, you've got your lands, and you need your threats. So this is just the perfect card for them. And it's possible that, I've not really heard anyone talk about this, but it's possible we could be playing, instead of the 4 Baron Moors, we could be playing 4 Fingraphs. Is getting a creature back better than drawing a card? Who knows? Maybe some mix is appropriate, because like tap lands are not that great in Pauper. You really want your lands to come and play untapped. Wow. Wow. So we drew perfectly. We can't really block, so we attack. Now, he has approximately 1,000 cards in his hand. We're at not that much life. He's at 24. We're certainly not winning this game, but, we got there with Victim of Night, at least. What have you got? Prophetic Prism? Sure. Huh. Tapping mana. Firebolt? Yeah. Good game. A good game. Alright, sideboarding. We like it. Sideboarding helps us do the things that we want to do. We're bringing in the removal. That's what we're doing. We're bringing it in. We're going to make one additional cut. Yeah, I think that's it. This is how there's significant differences between Tron decks as to like how many duress targets they have, or like how many creatures they're running. Like, is Guess Verdict good when they have Seagate Oracle? Is duress good if you're just getting eggs? Like, taking Rolling Thunder or Condescend is very good. Taking Ancient Stirrings is pretty good. Taking Expedition Map, pretty good. But, there's lots of things, there's lots of like soft hits for duress. Like cards that it will take that you don't really care about. This hand is perfect. Once again, long game, we're comfortable with Muldrifter. We're worried about Crusher. We're worried about dealing with their big threats, and this hand can do that. This hand has 2 removal spells and some card advantage, so this is perfect. And again, being on the play helps, but just as in the last game, we don't have a hand that allows us to really take advantage of being on the play. Like, we're not going to be putting on too much pressure with this. Rather than duress, I'm just gonna draw cards, and we're gonna be able to deal with his threats one at a time here. So Guess Verdict is probably gonna be at its best. Ooh, Ancient Stirrings. Probably wanted to duress that. The longer you can keep them off Tron, just like the more time you have before you need to start spending removal spells. Yeah, now he's got 3 duress targets out of his hand, but he probably has more. If he doesn't, I think that's fine for us because he needs stuff. Yeah. Oh, Mall Splicer? Mall Splicer's really good. Yeah, Mall Splicer is a significant improvement, largely because it dodges Guess Verdict very well, and it puts multiple bodies in play, so it's unlikely that a single removal spell deals with it effectively. But now that we know that, like if it's possible he's sided into more creatures. That's completely reasonable. But if he's sided out, like let's say he sides out Fangren Marauder for Maul Splicer or something along those lines, just like changes his threat base, we can go back for sideboarding in game 3 and readjust, bring back in Spinning Darkness because it's live against the tokens, for example. Bring in more Serrated Arrows to deal with the Splicer itself, and leave in the full amount of Quambai Witches because our 2/2s can trade with their 3/3s plus a point of damage. So we're not totally dead to Maul Splicer. Maul Splicer is certainly good. Yeah. Yep. 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 We're gonna get Rager down here. Ooh, another Victim Knight is certainly pretty spicy. We've got no attack here, so we'll just pass the turn and see what's up. Maul Splicer is certainly tech against Mono Black. That's a card that I liked quite a bit for Pauper when it was printed, but hasn't really made a dent in the format yet. Ooh, these Victim Knights are getting pretty ugly. Or not Victim Knight, the Geth Verdicts are getting pretty ugly. And just sack this, he keeps 2/3/3s, and we're down 2 cards. It's like he's sided into a version that's capable of dealing with our card advantage. That's pretty unfortunate. Stirrings, great draw. Yep. So he's got an attack here. Which is fine. We're not going to block. We're just going to look to take apart his creature base. One at a time. Ooh, he is attacking with Maul Splicer. It makes me fear shenanigans, but I don't think we can afford to not block. Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, he just ran Splicer into Chitting Rats, probably hoping to get it back with Fingraph later and like generate more value. But for now, that just makes Guess Verdict a real spell. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased about that. Yep. So he can crack to get that Tron piece back that we just took from him, basically. But he doesn't have action. I'm not attacking because I'm looking to block here. I'm perfectly comfortable, double blocking a free card from him basically, because all of our cards are free cards too, right? Why not? Why not? And if we still had Spinning Darkness on our deck, this would be like, double block, put 2 cards in our graveyard. That would be a perfect time to get this going. Yeah. So we're effectively all even now. Like, we're going to spend the rest of our removal spells on his stuff, but he's going to be left with not a whole lot, and we'll have not a whole lot. Ooh, but we drew Sign in Blood. That's pretty good. Serrated Arrows? Sure. Can we afford to do that? Can we afford to take 7? I guess 6 really. No, I don't like that. It's a worse use of our mana, but I just want to save our life total because we're pretty far behind in life right now. And we don't have a board that can take advantage of Gray Merchant. Most of the time late in the game, Gray Merchant is an insane draw. Here it's going to be pretty mediocre. So we can't expect it to just win the game for us. Wow, Muldrifter, you're insane. You're so good. This guy drew very well. Very good draw. Yeah. It's unlikely we can beat that Muldrifter. Yeah, it's just drawing him so many extra cards, so much extra. Looks tear through his deck. He's gonna be able to find some way to end the game through our removal. If not just attack for 2 in the air. Like it's already a real thing. He has a stop on our upkeep. What would you like to do? Okay. Yep. The plan, as advertised last turn, is just to use arrows to kill his Splicer. There is some argument for, oh, why would you kill Splicer? Now he's just going to be able to get it back with Fengraf. Well, we're going to be killing 2 of his creatures anyway. So if we verdict him first and he sacks Muldrifter, like, is it better that he draws 2 cards, or is it better that he gets 2 tokens? It's not so clear cut, I don't think. I took the line where I'd rather him get back have some chance of getting back Splicer and some chance of Muldrifter, rather than knowing specifically what he's going to be able to get. We're not in a great spot here. We have to chump the Marauder. We're dead to basically anything. He's getting he returned Muldrifter, so he's going to get some more cards even. Oh, and one of them's Firebolt. Yeah, well, I mean, that's that. I mean, Firebolt is game. This qualifies as anything. When I said he couldn't have anything, this qualifies as a thing. 2 things, probably. So we can live the turn, Gray Merchant, and possibly live through next turn, but yeah, theoretically, right? That's sort of doing it. There's no way we can win this game, I don't think, but it's not that far from over anyway, so I'll just keep playing. So we gain 4. We're in an extraordinarily bad spot here. Do a lot of chumping. He's got plenty of action, plus 2 points of burn. Don't let anyone tell you Tron's not a real deck. I don't think that I think Tron is probably, it's for sure in the top 5. It's one of the top decks in the format. I think Mono Blue and Mono Black constitute the top tier. Like, those decks are just a little bit above the rest of the field. But then Boggles and Tron are real decks. The Hexproof deck and Tron are certainly very powerful. Excuse me. Certainly very powerful. And if people aren't prepared. Like I think we have a fine Tron matchup, but obviously they can just do big things. They can just go much bigger than we can. Oh man, that sucks. We got the real Flame Slash. Yeah. So the way that we win these games, we didn't keep aggressive hands. Like our draws were not fast at all. But if we were able to put on a little bit more pressure in the early game, like 6 to 8 more points of damage, and have those permanents in play, like the Phyrexian Rager, the Chittering Rats, instead of just the sort of like the air that we had, the Baron Moors and like the Duresses. Those cards are not as good in this matchup. Your opponent, the GG. But if we'd had those permanents to put in play to power up Grey Merchant, we could certainly be in this. Like they'd have 4 to 6 less life. Our Grey Merchant would be happening for 3 to 5 more points of damage. So instead of going back to 6, we'd go to 10. They'd go to 5, and like this attack couldn't happen, and it would be completely reasonable. But that's that. We lost this game to Tron. So yeah.